Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver
Hey guys,
now.
we're roadrunner.com. Lots of stuff going on behind the scenes. Crazy. They're trying to keep silver under control. It bumped up over $30 again today before it got slammed back down. Nothing new under the sun when it comes to silver market manipulation, other than I think we're very close to the end days. And the reason is solar. Again, when the numbers are in for the first half of the year, blowing away all previous numbers. My estimate now, I've upped my estimate to 650 gigawatts installed from 443. 650 gigawatts, DC, that's DC. Which is probably, although this is the big secret in silver, a lot of that will be TopCon, which is about 50% more. So I'm looking at over, drum roll please, 500 million ounces of silver used just in photovoltaics this year. That is my estimate. Yes, it will take a strong back half, but all the projections are a strong back half for solar. And, oh, by the way, if Powell does start to lower interest rates, solar cost structure is going to go through the roof. God knows the solar installers need it. Not the manufacturers aren't making. Nobody's making money in solar, except the places that are buying and installing it. Solar panels are so incredibly cheap. They'll probably make over, or at least have the capacity to make over 600 gigawatts of new capacity this year. And there's some backlog, all kinds of things. You're not going to get the real story from the Silver Institute. They lied so heavily, so incredibly heavily. As a matter of fact, they lied. They cut the number almost exactly in half. They came out with 193.5. The actual number, just according to the official installations, was 387. That's exactly in half. Crazy, right? It's like you can't make this shit up. And then they lied about, changed the numbers. This is Metals Focus and the Silver Institute. So we are not working off a base of 193 like the Silver Institute said for last year. We're working off a base of 387 million ounces last year. That's why I say it's going over 500 million. TopCon has 50% more than the PERC modules. And they are not thrifting the silver out. They're adding more silver. Why? Because it makes it more efficient. And when you're investing in an asset over 25, 30 years, little 1% efficiencies really do add up. So they are not taking out silver. They are not thrifting silver out because the price of silver is so incredibly low. Why would they? There's no need to thrift silver out and get less efficiency. They just keep it in there. And these asshole idiots like the Silver Institute and Metals Focus is lying to the people. They are lying to everybody. And I keep hearing them being quoted on CNBC. And according to the Silver Institute, according to Metals Focus, these guys are fraud. And I've talked to both of them. Obviously, Metals Focus kind of knows what's going on. The Silver Institute clearly is clueless and criminal. If you ask me, they're criminal. But that's the weird thing. Not the board of directors or whatever the guy's name was from a mining company, because a week before they put their report out, he said it was going to be over 300 million ounces of silver used in photovoltaic. This is the head of the Silver Institute. Not Mike, the other guy. There's only two guys there. The chairman of the board. He's on an interview saying it's going to be over 300 million ounces. And then the Silver Institute comes out and says, oh, it's 193 million ounces. Are you freaking kidding me? Lie, cheat, steal, obfuscate. And it is going to destroy them. That's why I'm saying the silver rigging job is failing and failing badly, because they are keeping the price low. All the silver in the world is going to Asia and China. Massive amounts. For example, India adds 15 gigawatts of PV in first half, up 282%. Everybody said, oh, solar will die. Oh, this is just a one-off year. Go away. You're not allowed to speak anymore. Up 282% year on year, and they're looking at a bigger second half of the year. 282%. Even the U.S. is getting in on the game. Look at the planned additions for the rest of the year. This is stuff that's already in the books, already paid for. It just needs to be installed, and that's what is going to be installed. That'll be up 25-30% for the U.S., not residential. This is the commercial solar farms, the massive ones that use untold amounts of silver. Untold. Silver market insight. So last year, in 2023, the solar market installed 32 gigawatts DC in the United States. This year, it's going to be above 40, maybe 45 if the interest rates go down. Every single country is just blowing out because it was mandated. COP28, everybody signed it. Yeah, we're going to save the world by putting in solar panels. Nobody was saying, wait, the price is too low because the market riggers are rigging it. We can't sell that much silver at $30. We don't have enough silver to satisfy the flat screen TVs, the telephones, the electric cars. The regular cars have massive amounts of silver in them. Now, by the way, they for years, over 15 years, that we've been putting massive amounts of silver in electric cars, they haven't upped that number. They haven't upped the amount. They say, oh, it's about, no, just less than a full ounce of silver. That's bullshit. Every car has way more than an ounce of silver in it now. And the electric cars have massively amount more. Nobody knows. Guys like Metals Focus, they'll tell you, oh, it's 1.9 per electric car. That's a bunch of crap. My people are telling me there's 30 to 32 ounces. So we have no idea what the hell's going on. No idea. But we will when we run out of silver. This is where we get into Cliff High's data that silver will hit $600, $700 and then keep running. Because it will become unobtainium. Because they hold the price so low for so long, everybody who has half a brain is loading up on massive amounts of physical silver, mainly in the industrial side. Because all their products won't work if they don't have silver. Or at least they won't work as well. People keep telling me, well, copper's a great substitute for silver. It is not a great substitute for silver. It's a horrible substitute for silver in solar panels because it's got to last 25, 30 years. Copper rusts and corrodes. And I mean, nobody's going to be changing over to copper unless they have to. And at $30 silver, you don't have to. So just ferme la bouche when it comes to saying that copper's going to take the place of silver. Copper will rust and corrode after 5 years, 6 years. Poof, it's over. Solar panels got to last 25, 30, 35 years. And if you think we were going to get recycling, we didn't install any. Very few solar panels. How long ago was that? Let's say 25 years. They're starting to be retired slowly, but there's hardly any. All this silver that's going into the solar panels between... Basically, it started in 2021 and is going to just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger until we run out of the last ounce of silver. And from that point on, the silver riggers will have to try to find another game. But right now, no problem. We can rig silver. We'll just keep it above and below the moving averages, and we'll fleece the people who are playing the tech traders, the brain-dead tech traders. So right now, it's above. So what happens? You just look on the Commitment of Traders report. It's like the CFTC. They publish this report, but they don't know how to read it. It's embarrassing. So yes, it went over the moving averages, and the big shorts, the riggers, added to their shorts. Added, so that's, let's see, about about 18 million ounce naked paper short. They don't have that. HSBC is the big short right now. How do we know? Because every delivery is HSBC. It's behind it. All the physical deliveries of silver, along with JP Morgan and Bank of America. It was a big structured deal. But all this year, HSBC has been the big deliverer of silver. And you think, oh, these markets are gigantic, Vix. No, they are not. It's a handful of traders trading back and forth to each other. facilitated by a company called Virtu Financial, run by Vinny Viola. And they do it on every market. It's not just gold and silver. The stock market, the bond market, even the massive FX market is 100% rigged. It does not matter if we blow the budgets out. None of this economics crap that I learned in college matters. When you can rig the number to anywhere you want, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what interest rates are. It doesn't matter what any of it. All these great gold analysts and silver analysts saying, well, we've hit the inverted yield curve and blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What does matter? Who is running the computers, trading the derivatives to control the price? That's all that matters. Alan Greenspan invented the first rigging programs back in the early 70s. He implemented him with his boss was, or his mentor, a guy named Arthur Burns, who ran the Fed. It's all so obvious. Get your physical silver. Get it in your own possession. If you have it somewhere else, it's not going to be yours. That's the sad thing. Checked out Harvey Organ's exchange for physicals. This is the silver going from the U.S., the COMEX, over to London, to the LBMA, because they just don't have it in the U.S. They got to go to the LBMA, which is probably a much larger rig job than anybody can even imagine. But they do have a lot of physical silver that comes in and out of there. Why? Why? It's the city of London. That's what they do. How much is real? How much is fake? Gold. It's probably half of it's fake, because you're not gonna take the gold bars off the shelf and melt them down to make anything. They use a little bit of gold, a little bit in industrial side, but not much at all. So you're pretty safe to just gold coat all your 100-ounce bars or whatever you got in there. I think it's 400 ounce for the big guys. I don't know. Yeah, just gold plate them all. Why not? At the end of the day, everybody's going to look at what they got, and they're not going to believe anybody that tells you, oh, yeah, this is a 100-ounce silver bar, and I'm going to go to my local coin shop, and they're going to say, I don't even know if it's real. I'm going to have to drill into it. The scratch and sniff test does not work. It could be molybdenum, which is very similar density, but is much cheaper. And with gold, it would be tungsten. So, anyway, 75 million ounces so far couldn't be delivered on the COMEX, so they moved it over to the LBMA. And 1 week left. We'll get over probably, my guess is I'm going to say 100 million ounces on the exchange for physicals. Last month was 108 million ounces. September will be interesting because it is a delivery month. It is a month of chaos for the banks. I do expect some turmoil. We might not be able to see it this coming weekend. The 3-day weekend. How long has the FDIC been talking about closing down banks on a 3-day weekend? Over a year since that the board meeting where they're like, they say, well, probably everybody in the whole world believes in the FDIC more than we do. They said that in the meeting, and they had to know it was being recorded. But it's true. The FDIC doesn't have the money. They didn't have the money to bail out, the Silicon Valley Bank and all that bullshit. They had to jerry-rig everything. And then they had to go against what they claim. They bailed out the rich people, the Silicon Valley people. 100% bailout. There is no chance in hell that there will be bail-ins. Anybody who thinks that, unless you're a foreigner holding money in the United States, there is not a chance in hell there will be bail-ins, because they blew their chance. They could have done it with Silicon Valley Bank, anybody over the FDIC insurance. They didn't do it. Surprise, surprise. They're never going to do it. What does that mean? They're going to flood the world with even more money and more money and more money. Get your physical silver into your own possession. ASAP. Let's see what else we got. Pakistan, not a gigantic player, but it up massively again. It's the third largest destination. The United States does not run the solar world. China runs the solar world. All of Asia. India is putting massive amounts in. Pakistan's putting solar in. Everybody wants solar, especially with the high energy prices. You can put in solar, yeah, you spend a lot up front, but you got it for 25, 30 years. Oh my God, it's painful to watch sometimes. I tell you. This, if you haven't looked at this report, it's very interesting how the Silver Institute and Metals Focus changed. Every number in red has been changed by them. It's sad and embarrassing and 100% illegal. It's illegal to purposefully mislead investors, and that's exactly what they're doing. So here we are. This was the chart from last year. The total that was done last year in solar was 443 gigawatts DC. And the beauty of having the solar numbers have to be reported to the government because they're all regulated and all that. So we get to see, if it was just silver, they wouldn't tell us this. Not at all. But once you get to the, oh my God, they put in 443 gigawatts, how much silver per watt was loaded onto that solar panel. And that information is held very closely at hand. But for years they've been saying, oh, there's thrifting, there's thrifting. But there is no evidence of thrifting. I'm sorry, Jeff Christian, there's no evidence of thrifting, especially with TopCon. Why are they they're adding more silver. They're adding more silver to the mix. And oh, by the way, TopCon will be, my guess, 70 to 75% of what's installed this year. Next year, probably 90%. The rest being even higher in efficiencies, which means more and more and more silver. Believe it or not. In TopCon, I would, on average, it's weird because everybody makes the panel differently. But I'd say on average, 50% more silver. So you're starting off the bat, you're going to get, if they do the same thing as last year, it's going to be 50% higher, at least on the TopCon part of it. I think they had 30 in TopCon, so you could take a little off that, but not much. I'm guessing 650 gigawatts DC, not the rated capacity, which is AC, which is like you see a power plant go up, it has 10 gigawatts. That's actually 10.2 gigawatts DC, which is the entire panel, and there's silver on the entire part of it. So you gotta, there's a rated capacity. It's a little complicated, but it doesn't really matter because they're gonna lie about it anyway. So that's where we have it. That's what's going on right now. Get your physical silver. Yes, you will see silver go, when it hits $40, it'll go right to 50, maybe a little slight bump on the head there, and everyone will think, oh, they're going to slam it again, but no. Massive amounts of silver are needed all over the world. And then when it runs over 50, it is past its 1980 all-time high. There is no target after that. Nobody knows. $600 has been thrown out a lot. Yeah, I think as a first stop, maybe go to 600, fall back to 400, and then 1,000, fall back to 800, and then who knows? Maybe we'll have freely traded silver on the planet. But again, if we get up into the 50s, the silver, the short position for the criminal riggers right here. I mean, this is massive amounts of silver. You take those two shorts, add them together, that's 500 million ounces right there. Just in one category, which has maybe 8 to 10 players who really own all, and they're all big banks. So what would happen if JP Morgan went down? What would happen if HSBC went down, or Bank of America, or Wells Fargo, or UBS, or any other? Or I heard Deutsche Bank wants to get back into silver. Are you kidding me? Insane world we live in, my friends. But that's where we are. I am looking for insane chaos, too, around the election. I think we're going to see by the end of this week, we're going to start to see banking issues. September, October are going to be just the craziest time you will have. If you live in the United States, it'll be the craziest time you'll see in your lifetime, and probably for many lifetimes going forward the next couple months. And here's Martin Armstrong. We're looking at serious civil unrest regardless of who wins. That's absolutely true. I don't even think there's going to be an election. At least not right away. They're insane. Both sides are completely insane. So, kind of crazy. That's what I got for you. If you got you're on the private road, check out the Jenny Moonstone discussion about silver and stuff. Last Friday, I posted that on the private road. If you're not on the private road, go to roadtoroot.com. Click on subscribe today. And we are currently giving away 10 Theta, 100 T-Fuel, and 1,000 T-Drop, all loaded on a paper wallet. You just put it in your safe with your silver. I'll have more to say about T-Fuel. The rewards for the bonus are really starting to kick in, which means I think at some point everybody and their mother is going to try to get the 500,000 T-Fuel that you need to kick into the bonus mode. And remember, there's more and more partners coming on, and that'd be more and more tokens you'd be earning. And it's good for the partners too. Like Nvidia, nobody had heard of it before it joined up teams kind of with Theta. And it's a good crypto. It actually does something. It's a healthcare tracking, all that shit. But they're giving away Nvidia if you stake your T-Fuel and assist in the application of doing something, of actually doing something. And what does Theta do? It allows people to share broadband. It allows people to share extra space on your hard drive. It allows people to share extra processing power. Plus a bazillion other things. It's got subchains. It's got, you name it, it's got it. When Ethereum goes belly up at some point, which I probably will, it can very easily, every single one of those tokens can very easily run off the Theta blockchain, which is faster and cheaper. It's just designed better. Yes, it was after Ethereum, but it was designed so that it's cheap and it's costly. It's costless, practically costless to approve transactions on the Theta blockchain versus like Bitcoin or something like that, which is massively costly, massive amounts of energy. So go check it out, roadtoroot.com. This is Bix. I'll talk to you later.